Greetings and welcome to today's vlog. Now, today I have some good news and some bad news. The good news is that today is our Sue and I's 44th wedding anniversary, which is a marvellous thing. Um, I'm being so blessed to have a wife like Sue. We managed to survive 44 years, and what's more, I think we're getting on better now than we ever have done. So that's good. Of course, we have ups and downs. We've had some really tough times through the years. Sometimes our relationships have been really strained, but we've kept going, and we've known that God has blessed us, not least with our children. So we celebrate today. The bad news is that Sue is still testing positive for COVID. So she's been in bed for most of this week. She's really, really tired. So we're not spending the day together, apart from when I go in and take her food and drink and what have you. Have a brief chat. So maybe that's just a picture of married life, isn't it? Ups and downs, great times and some tough times. And of course, marriage isn't easy. And really, really sad that in the last couple of weeks I've received news that two couples we know have separated, husband and wife. In fact, one of the couples I married when I was minister in Leicester. So that's really, really sad. And I don't stand in judgment because I know that sometimes these things happen. But anyway, I want to really focus on marriage. How do we make it work? And I want to share with you a really interesting little passage that I came across a few days ago as I was doing my daily Bible reading in the book of Deuteronomy. And it says this. I've never really noticed this before. Here it is. When a man takes a new wife, he is not to go out with the army or to be given any business or work duties. He gets 1 year off simply to be at home making his wife happy. Isn't that a fantastic thing? So we think paternity leave is a fairly new thing. Of course, here it is. In fact, husbands, the law said, didn't get just a few weeks off or whatever they get these days, but a year off. A year off, no business or work duties. I love this. He gets 1 year off simply to be at home making his wife happy. Isn't that a great thing? To tell a husband, just stay at home for a year, make your wife happy. Not that that ends at the end of the year. Interesting to know if that did happen, how it worked out. But it seems to me that's a really important message. If both husband and wife, if their aim is to make one another happy, then that's going to build up the relationship, strengthen it, give it protection against the storms that will come. Now, there's a very controversial passage, in some people's eyes at least, in Paul's letter to the Ephesians, chapter 5, where especially some women get really het up about it when he says this. Ephesians 5, verse 22, wives, be subject to your husbands as though to the Lord. And that seems a bit one-sided, isn't it? Wives, be subject to your husbands. But when people read that verse, they forget that the immediate verse before that, verse 21, says, be subject to one another out of reverence for Christ. So it's a mutual submission, a mutual giving of oneself. And it's putting the other person first, isn't it? Not only that, but although it does say wives be subject to your husbands, a little bit later on in the same passage, Paul says this to husbands. Husbands, love your wives as Christ loves the church. So it's not a question of husbands saying, look, the Bible says you've got to be subject to me, because our wives can turn around and say yes, but it says that you have to love me with the love of Christ. So it's all about husband and wife loving, not just with words, or certainly not with feelings, because feelings come and go, don't they? But it's with an act of the will. We show love, we demonstrate love. I've tried to do that this week to support Sue as she's been in bed, taking her food and drink and filling her hot water bottle up regularly. I've not done a great job. I know that I'm not a great nurse, but I've tried to do that. And if we make it our aim to do what pleases our husband or our wife, to build them up, to encourage them, to support them, if both parties in the marriage are doing that, that's bound to build up the marriage, strengthen it for all that lies ahead. So anyway, there's a few thoughts for today. God bless you. Thank you so much for listening today.